You know, Alexer, so many people think that rich people are all the same, but it's just not quite true. Not all wealth is created or spent equally. So today we're talking about the 15 types of rich people. Welcome to Alux, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Number 1, the just got rich folks. Now these people aren't even new money, they're all of a sudden fresh money. These people were not expecting to get rich this soon. They simply rode a wave, made a killing in an emerging industry, and most of the time have a problem dealing with it because they don't have enough time to mature their financial IQ. They got rich super fast and sometimes at too young of an age, and it backfires. They usually hyper-flaunt their newfound wealth. They buy stupid shit and most likely will burn through it all fairly quickly. They live under the mantra of, "I'll just make more." You can call them out right away because they generally purchase only liabilities, like flashy cars, expensive clothes, and bags, but they have no real investment portfolio to back up their lifestyle. They assume whatever made them money will always be there. Sooner or later, they either make a mistake and the pipe dries out, or the wave changes and they fail to adapt. That's when you're left in a house you can't afford with 6 cars waiting to sell and a couch that you paid $20,000 for on a dare. Number 2, real estate rich. Now, most people who say they are real estate rich aren't actually rich yet. Technically, they will be in 30 years, just not right now. These are usually real estate agents with a bit more drive and desire to grow. They use the money they get from their day job as a down payment for their next property. They constantly talk about cash flow, about how they're gonna brrr this new property and how they're forcing appreciation and how they know someone who has over 100 properties already. Truth be told, these are usually some of the nicest people you'll come around. They're not flashy, they're super disciplined, and they know they're playing the long game. Most of them live below their means. They'll eventually be rich when they manage to either sell or mature their portfolio of properties. Number 3, trading and hedge funds rich. Now these are the weird ones. They're all over the spectrum in terms of energy, hype, Rockstar and Red Bull consumption, not to mention other substances that would get us demonetized. For the traders, they love to show you that one trade they made a while back where they made a killing and their 4-monitor setup was filled with green and red lines. Day traders like to pretend that because they read the news, they understand how the global economy is fluctuating day by day. These are the baby brothers of the hedge fund guys. Hedge fund rich means you're a lot better than every other day trader out there and some big shot has hooked you into his company. Their yearly bonus alone makes them millionaires, but it's taking a toll on every aspect of their life. In our experience, people who work in hedge funds are stressed out the most. They work the longest hours and are constantly worrying about screwing everything up, thus artificially increasing their energy through chemicals and spending as much money as they can to keep feeling alive. They've got some insane stories to tell. Number 4, royal family rich. They are the definition of old, prehistoric old money. And you're probably expecting these people to be the epitome of douchiness. But you would be mistaken here. In our experience, they're some of the most well-mannered and reserved individuals out there. Although they enjoy unmatched levels of wealth, they constantly carry the burden of not embarrassing their family, and they're a lot more reserved because of it. Unless you're paying close attention, you might miss that they even come from that much money. The giveaway is usually the diplomatic limousine and the aide that follows them everywhere. Although they're constantly well-dressed, they don't draw attention to themselves. During our university years, we had the privilege of getting to know quite well someone from the United Arab Emirates royal family, and we can tell you firsthand, they're just normal people with almost perfect etiquette and a family name to carry around. Most of them enjoy the privilege, but they feel the need to break free, to party, to make stupid decisions. But most of them choose to never do that. Number 5, tech rich. We love the techies. We always clicked with them well because, well, we're in tech ourselves, aren't we? These are usually geeks, introverts with a unique sense of humor, almost always terrible fashion sense, but almost always with great intentions and even greater intellect. They usually got rich by developing an idea that they had with a couple of friends that blew up. The money came from investors who valued their company in the millions, or if they were successful with the product, from selling said company. They love gadgets. They don't blow through money, and their mind is always buzzing. After a big exit, they usually seclude themselves for a while until they start working on the next one. For tech people, it's the puzzle of business they find the most alluring and figuring out if they can solve it. They take their growth seriously. They have coaches, trainers, mentors, and are a part of mastermind groups. They love to optimize everything in their lives in order to get the most out of it. They realize that in order to get rich in life, you only need to get it right once. They also learned the asymmetric returns of the right information. This is why they spend tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars per year to get the kind of advice that saves them decades. Because you can only go as fast as you know how to go. That's why we built the Alux app in the first place. We built it for ourselves and people like us. Instead of paying $50,000 a year to one executive coach, you've got access to the smartest coaches in the world for $29.99 a month. A single idea can make you rich. So if you go to alux.com/app right now, you can start a 7-day free trial without paying anything. And you'll have instant access to thousands of elite coaching sessions, and you'll immediately realize why the Alux app is a game changer. The reviews speak for themselves, as hundreds of thousands of people have downloaded it and found it beyond valuable. Your life is cheap because you think investing in yourself is expensive. Maybe it's time you started investing in your most valuable asset, you. Even better, if you scan the QR code on screen right now, you can get 25% off your yearly plan as a thank you for watching this Sunday video. Number 6. Save the world philanthropic rich. Now, these are usually entrepreneurs who've had a great idea, it blew up, they sold it, and now they're pursuing their true passion of doing good. Or they come from older money and they have no interest in going into the family business. They travel the world, they meet people, raise funds, and oversee projects meant to help aid those in need or preserve valuable parts of the world. They're experts in social courtesy and love to use their connections to push projects even further. Because of their efforts, people, communities, species, or pieces of art have found their way into the light. See what Akon is doing in Africa, what Amal Clooney is fighting for, and what Bill and Melinda have done to cure the world. Number 7. Celebrity rich. Now this includes TV, movies, entertainers, athletes, that kind of thing. Celebrity rich people are usually first-generation money. They got big with a single project and are struggling to hold on to said fame because their incredibly expensive lifestyle requires it. And you know, most people don't like to see frugal celebrities because they want them to be aspirational, to always look beautiful and opulent, and this has to be the major downfall for most of them. The cost of fame is usually too great, and most celebrity-rich folks get swept up in a whirlwind of expenses, yes men, and spotlights. The more stable ones aren't as arrogant as people think. Their time is just really expensive, and we can see why some people might find them hard to connect to. What you need to understand is that most of them are running against a clock. Fame can be gone just as quickly as it showed up, and they have to take this opportunity to make sure it lasts. Number 8. Daddy money. Trust fund rich. Now, these are the children of everyone else we're covering on this list. The parents sacrificed a lot coming up, and the results are an incredible life. Their kids don't have to worry about money, every basic expense is being covered, you're not lacking anything else. Because their parents are still running the family business, the children usually feel disconnected. Parenting suffers when you have to put every hour into building and maintaining an empire. And you know, in our experience, trust fund kids are split into 2 very distinct groups. One is an incredibly obnoxious, entitled prick who believes everything should be delivered to them on a plate because, well, that's been their experience in life so far. The second group is a lot more laid back and deeply appreciative of the struggles their parents went through. They see themselves as responsible to take their parents' efforts and pick up the torch and finally allow them to rest. And hey, Lexer, we hope that any children you might have will fall into category number 2. Number 9. Don't ask questions rich. Now, these are the people who can't really explain their wealth, at least not in a way that would not incriminate them. They made their money in shadier ways, oftentimes crossing that line into illegal territory. They've never built a company, they didn't go public, they don't have a paper trail for any of their riches. The riches are just there and they've grown over the past couple of decades. Some might have even done jail time, but the more connected folks only got charged and then their cases dropped. In more recent years, they've begun to clean up their image. They took their dark money and began investing it in legal businesses. They're cleaning up their reputation as well. You see many of them on the cover of your favorite financial magazines, and although rumors are still flying around, they make an effort to distance themselves personally from anything that could damage them. These people understand, better than anyone else, just how corrupt and fragile the world is. Number 10. Serial entrepreneur rich. Now, these people are extremely passionate about business. They love the challenge of building one after another. They usually spend a couple of years developing a business, then they either withdraw themselves from the company or make an exit in order to start and grow another one. Their attention span is tiny. They're always in a hurry and it feels like they're juggling too many things, but that pressure is where they thrive. Some of our best friends are serial entrepreneurs, and they're always excited to tell you about their new investment they made and the last success they had. In our experience, they're fairly young, and when we say fairly, we mean between their 30s and 50s. They're chasing the next wave very much like a surfer does, constantly pushed by the fear of not solving the upcoming puzzle. Number 11. Can't tell rich. Now, these are people you'd never be able to tell that they're wealthy. They live in the same house, they have a mid-range car, they don't sport a flashy watch. As a matter of fact, they're the exact opposite of the just got rich type. They acquired their wealth through smart, stable investments over their lifetime. They live below their means and spoil themselves only by purchasing quality products. They rarely care about how big the logo is. They could be your next-door neighbor, and you wouldn't even be able to tell, because their bank account isn't reflected in their lifestyle the way you think it would reflect on yours. Out of everyone on this list, these are truly the happiest of the bunch. Number 12. All-in rich. Sometimes known as poker rich or lucky rich. Now, these are people who go all in on one play, and it works out for them. We know plenty of actual poker players who've amassed a small fortune from this one skill, but this genre doesn't cover them exclusively. It covers everyone who's looking for low-effort, high-return types of money. Now, most of them fail in the long run because they're unable to discipline their double-or-nothing type of thinking. And you know, a subspecies of this genre is the merry rich folks. A man or woman who's going all in on a romantic relationship, usually with someone older and wealthier, in order to quickly climb up the social and economic ladder. Number 13. I wrote that book rich. Now, these are some of the funkiest people to be around. With authors, it's always a hit or miss in terms of chemistry. Some are fun, some are weird, and almost all of them have a quirky way about them. They're not celebrity rich, but they do have their own loyal fan base who's always pressuring them for the new thing. In our experience, most of them live with a constant fear of imposter syndrome, thinking they'll never be able to top that one release that got them to where they are right now. Because of the nature of their work, they live a pretty joyous life. Number 14. Crypto, AI, insert the next trend here, rich. Crypto rich is like the trader genre and poker rich mixed into a new breed of wealth. They believe money isn't real, governments are outdated, taxes are theft, and they can't wait for their stash to be worth billions. Truth be told, most of them are right. They got rich in the past decade. They were one of the first movers in a new technological breakthrough. Many of them bought into the Bitcoin phenomenon super early and held on to it until this day, only selling little bits along the way to see those digits can be turned into real assets. They productized ChatGPT and sold it off to early adopters in search of massive productivity boosts. More recently, they're into longevity and supplements. This group of nobody understands exactly what they're doing is actively building the new infrastructure upon which the new technological era of human experience will be built on. In our experience, most of them are faking it, but but a small subset of them are actually legit. The problem is, you can't often tell which ones are which until it's too late. And number 15, motivational speaker rich. Now this last category is by far the least rich on our list. They made their fortunes through selling the dream of becoming rich to others, almost in a predatory sense. They promise a surefire way to make millions if only you join their $10,000 seminar. They always sell a new system and jump on the latest trend to repackage the same model of worthless promises. They sell the idea of being wealthy. Even a certain rich father made his fortune from the sale of books and not in real estate as he preaches. Only after the book money came in could he afford to practice what he preached, and he is not alone. And this doesn't mean that what they present isn't valuable, it's just not everything. Our advice is if you're going to pay for knowledge, make sure you're getting a valuable skill developed out of it. Otherwise, you're just going to be left holding a beautiful package that's filled with brochures and confetti. Throughout your life, you definitely met some of these types of individuals, and we're curious to know you better. Which type of rich people have you met in your life? And what did you learn from them? We can't wait to hear from you in the comments. And for those sticking with us until the very end, of course, we've got an extra category. Your bonus today is the soon-to-be rich. Now, these are the individuals who are taking all of the correct steps toward becoming financially wealthy. Although they might not be there just yet, they've got the discipline, the drive, and the focus to change that in the foreseeable future. These are people who right now are investing in their financial education. They read case studies, books, watch interviews, and educational videos on how others were able to achieve greatness and wealth. They're not just consumers. They don't just talk about what they wish their life could be. Instead, they keep pushing forward every single day. They rely on fundamentals. They don't follow trends. They're not falling victim to the get-rich-quick mentality, and most of them have been able to dramatically improve their lives in the past few years. We believe you are one of these soon-to-be rich people. Because look, okay, who else is going to take every single Sunday to educate themselves on how wealth is built, how to live a fulfilling life, and watch this fairly long video until the end for a special golden nugget of information? We're blessed to have people like you making up our community, and we feel proud of how far we've come together. We see you every week in the comments, and although we don't always reply to every single comment, we've learned your names, your avatars, and we're always excited to see you come back. And for that, we want to thank you, Aluxer. If you relate to this bonus part, please write "soon" in the comments. That way, we know our message has reached all the right ears.